Hello everyone and welcome to Medford Anywhere Learning TV. We're glad you're tuned in. We want to give a shout out to our friends at Southern Oregon PBS, KTVL, KDRV, and the Dove Network. Thank you for hosting us on your station. In the Medford School District, we have one shared vision, and that we believe that all are learning, and learning is for all. And what better place to do that than right here on Medford Anywhere Learning TV.
Okay, how about this one? Why did the student eat their homework? Because their teacher said it was a piece of cake. Oh, hi, I'm Mrs. Jackson from Hoover Elementary School, and I'm really glad that you joined me today, you second and third grade smarties. I'm reading jokes from this hilarious joke book. Do you want to hear another one? Here it is. What's orange and sounds like a parrot? A carrot! I love a good joke because of the same reasons I'm a good reader. And I like to guess riddles. Can you think of what that reason might be? Why do I like jokes and riddles? Want a hint? It is the same reason I like trivia questions and mystery stories. Do you know it now? Well, I'll tell you, I love to ask and answer questions, especially when I read a book. How about you? Do you like to ask and answer questions? Do you ever ask, why does the sun travel across the sky? Why are flamingos pink? Why is it hot outside in the summer but cold in the winter? Why do grown-ups like the taste of coffee? And why are we allowed to eat Captain Crunch for breakfast, but we're not allowed to eat cotton candy? Cotton candy? Oh. Did you put milk on this? Ugh. That's why we don't eat cotton candy for breakfast. Oh, well. Do we have any Captain Crunch? Oh. See, we people naturally ask a lot of questions. We ask questions in our mind and also out loud. It's part of what makes people excellent at inventing new things, solving complicated problems, or getting to know other people. We even ask questions when we read. When we look at a book, we might read the title and ask ourselves, am I interested in this book? What will this book be about? These types of questions help us choose a book to read. But did you know there are specific questions we can ask that can make us super readers when we get into a good story? These questions I'm about to share with you are for you to ask yourself when you are reading a fiction text. Fiction means it is imaginary and made up by the author. Text simply means written or printed words. So we put together fiction and text, and what we have are books or stories that are imaginary and made up by an author. When I read fiction text, I ask myself questions that make me think about what I am reading. And as a result, I understand the story much better. Teachers like to call this act monitoring comprehension. You see, monitor means to check how something is going, and comprehension, well, like comprehend, means the act of understanding. So, monitoring comprehension means to check how you are understanding as you read a story. Pretty sneaky, huh? Now, the first questions a super reader can ask as they read are, who are the characters in the story, and what is their relationship to each other? Name the characters that have been introduced in the story so far, and review how they know each other or how they are connected to one another. Are the characters family, like in Junie B. Jones? Perhaps they are enemies, like in Harry Potter. Or maybe they're best friends, like Ivy and Bean. Or maybe they're strangers that just met on a school bus. If you don't remember the characters, or you don't understand how they are connected or related, you can reread the story. Or you can talk about the story with a parent or with a friend. The next set of questions super readers can ask themselves are, what is the main problem in the story? And how are the main characters trying to solve that problem? Just about every fiction story has some sort of problem the main characters are trying to solve. And they face some sort of conflict or struggle as they try to solve that problem. In some stories, there might be treasure the main character is trying to find, and they have to avoid traps and bad guys as they search for the clues and they get to the treasure first. Answer the question about what the characters face as they seek what they want or need. How are they solving the problem in the story? We don't have time to talk about all the questions super readers ask themselves to monitor their comprehension. But I'll end with my favorite question. I like to think of it as a power-up for reading. Have I ever experienced something similar to the main characters? This question challenges me to think about how my own life and the life of the main character might connect. How have I faced problems in my life and had to solve problems or overcome obstacles in order to succeed? When I answer this question, I understand myself and the main character much more. And I can see myself in them, and I can even imagine how I might react if I was that character in the story. There are even more questions you can ask yourself as you read to monitor your comprehension in a book. You can summarize the story by asking, what is this story mostly about? What lesson can I learn from this story? And also, why did the author write this story? All of these questions make you, the reader, naturally want to answer them. And it challenges you to think about the text in new ways. If you want to become a super reader, open up a fiction text and try some of these questions as you read along. Ask yourself, who are the main characters and how are they connected or related to each other? What is the problem in the story and how are the main characters trying to solve that problem? Plus, the power-up question. Have I ever had a similar experience as the main characters? If you ask these questions while reading, I guarantee you that you will grow as a thinker, as a reader, and it will spark your mind to think of new questions of your own to answer. Those are the questions that you ask yourself when you're reading a fiction text. Now, you might be asking the question, wait, Mrs. Jackson, aren't there all sorts of books that aren't made up stories? Yes, you're right. And when I come back in just a moment, I have a lot to show you about nonfiction texts. I'm glad you're with me. I have so many examples of nonfiction texts here that I can't wait to share with you. Before we do that, let's review, what does nonfiction mean? Well, non is a prefix that means un or not. And then, of course, we already know that fiction means something that's made up or imaginary. So nonfiction put together means that the text is not made up and it's not imaginary. That means nonfiction text is something that is true. It may be filled with facts that you can research and look up, and you can count on nonfiction text to tell you things that are real. So I have some examples that I'd like to show you now. The first one I'd like to show you is one of my favorite types of nonfiction texts, and that is a book of explanations. And this one is called David Macaulay's The Way Things Work. For years and years, this has been one of my favorite books to give as a present. In this book, the author goes through and explains to you how different things work. In fact, here's a great one that we all have experience with, and that is a car seat belt. Have you ever wondered how that car seat belt can pull across you and then click in, and then when you're done, it goes zip, and it gets pulled all the way back? Well, David Macaulay will explain to you right here how that works. You may notice in this picture that there are some specific text features that you usually don't see in a fiction story. Some of those are things like pictures or drawings and illustrations. An illustration is drawn by hand, but that's different from a picture that is taken from a camera. Sometimes you'll also see explanations below. On some of these down here on this page, when we're talking about a window shade, you can see that he's added arrows to show you the directions that those pulleys go, and he's given specifics on the bottom so you have a better understanding. Friends, when you read a nonfiction text, one that's like this, that's a book of explanations, make sure that you look at everything on the page. Authors of nonfiction texts often like to slip things in, and you can learn so many things if you make sure your eye goes all the way around to take it all in. Whew! Well, maybe learning about how something works might not be as interesting to you, but maybe you like to learn how to draw. This is a book about how to draw 50 types of horses. Not all nonfiction texts have a lot of words in them. In fact, this one is almost entirely pictures of the stages that you use to draw a horse. At the top, it shows you the very beginning, and then it shows you addition and addition as you draw, so that at the end, you have a fabulous drawing of a horse. Maybe you're interested in secret codes. This author wrote about secret codes, and this page here is about telephone codes. Did you know that telephones use codes? That's pretty amazing. Or how about another type of code? One of my favorite pages is about invisible writing. Did you know that you could do that at home? Pretty fascinating. Or maybe you're more interested in how gymnasts work. You can see here, this is a book that's all about the human body. And this is about how the arm muscles contract and relax when a gymnast pulls himself up in a ring. I can tell you right now, I can't do that at all. But one of my favorite types of nonfiction text is a cookbook. That's right, even cookbooks and recipes are nonfiction texts. You can see right here, this one is about a chocolate cheesecake. I might have to make this one tonight, actually. Friends, you come across all sorts of nonfiction texts. And just like when we read fiction, there's a series of specific questions we can ask ourselves as we read that really increase our understanding of the text and make us super readers. So the first question that you might ask yourself as you are reading a nonfiction text is, what is this text mostly about? So if we go back to our book that David Macaulay wrote about the way things work, when we take a look at this page here, when you look at all the different parts of the page, you should come up with the idea that it's mostly about helicopters. If we don't read all the information on there, we might think that it's just about the engine, or we might think it's just about the lift on the wing. But the subject is helicopters. That's what this text is mostly about. Another question you might ask that's very similar is, what is the main idea? When you're looking at, say, a cookbook, the main idea is to teach you and tell you how to cook something delicious, like a chocolate cheesecake. If you're looking at the Secret Codes book, the main idea may be to show you how you can write secret codes to your friends. Another question that I really want you to think about as you are reading nonfiction text is, what supporting details help me understand the main idea? Let's use this one. Supporting detail is, it's a smaller piece of information that helps you identify the main idea. So this particular page out of this eyewitness book on cars is about the race car. And we have a picture of a 1979 Ferrari right here. Some of the details may be about, say, this particular type of tire. That may be a supporting detail. Another supporting detail might be about the special kind of engine that goes on the inside. That gives you an idea that the entire text is about race cars. Yet another smart question that a reader can ask when they are reading nonfiction text is, why did the author write this text? David Macaulay, I think, probably has some kids in his life that ask a lot of questions like, how does this work and why does this go this way? So sometimes books are just simply to teach you something that you didn't know before. And sometimes they're about to help you, teach you how to do something new and different, like how to draw a bucking bronco. One of my favorite power-up questions that I like to use when I'm reading nonfiction text is, what information am I reading that is new to me? Oftentimes when I pick up a nonfiction text, like let's say one of my favorite books about cooking, one of the things I ask myself is, what is it that I'm reading in this recipe that's brand new to me? Is it a way that the cookbook author tells me to put ingredients together? Is it the type of recipe itself? That helps me think about the prior knowledge that I have. Prior means before. So the knowledge that I have about cooking and about chocolate cheesecakes, I think about that information and what new information I've just read, and I put that all together to come up with better understanding. Guess what, Smarties? There are even more questions that you can ask yourself when you're reading nonfiction text. Some of them are, what information did I already know? Or what details are important to remember from this text? Or what details are not really as significant? Significant means important. Or what questions do I still have about this topic? Because again, if you have more questions after reading something, you should go answer those questions. Smarties, I'm so glad you joined me today. When you're reading fiction and nonfiction text, there are specific questions that you can ask yourself to make you better readers. I hope that you continue to ask questions, you continue to read. Be good people and do good things. I'm Mrs. Jackson from Hoover Elementary School, and I'm really glad you joined me today for Medford Anywhere Learning TV.
Thanks for tuning in to Medford Anywhere Learning TV. Medford School District is a place where all are learning, and learning is for all.
I miss you a bunch. I hope that this virus stops so I can see you more. Miss you. We love you.
I wanted to say hi to Miss Jossie's class and all my friends at Jacksonville, and I miss you. Bye.
Hello, my name is Christian Chavez, and I go to KUA's charter school, and I want to give a huge shout out to Miss Kay Derrickson. She is highly respected with my family and I, and I just wanted to let her know that she is super important to me because she helps me with my education, and I hope she stays safe.
Mr. Smith, I love you.
Thank you, Mrs. Pardo and Mrs. Manili. We miss you and love you. Bye.
I appreciate Mrs. Valois because she's very hardworking, easy to talk to, and loving and understanding to all her students.
Thank you for all your hard work, Mrs. Beard. I miss you. Thank you, Miss Yanker, for everything you do. I miss you.
Hi, Mr. Romery and Senora Winechild. Thank you for all you've done for me.
Hi, Mrs. N. I'm making you a cat because I miss you so much.
I hate being on camera, but I wanted to let my teachers know how much I love them and how much I miss them. Thank you guys for being the best and the greatest. Thank you so much for teaching me.
Hi, my name is Natalia and I go to Lone Pine School. My teachers are Miss Southmead and Miss LaBelle. I want to thank them for always supporting me even through this hard time with coronavirus and doing Zoom calls to teach each other every Wednesday. I just want to thank you, Miss S and Miss L. And thank you all teachers. I appreciate you. Bye.
The teacher that I am thankful for is Mrs. Fowler. She's always very caring and pushes me to my limits and is always smiling.
You're the best teacher ever, Mr. Nicholson. I miss you.
Hi, my name is Taylor, and I go to Abraham Lincoln Elementary, and my teacher is Mr. Ullman, and I miss all my friends.
Hi, Mrs. Abbott. Thanks for being my teacher. I really, really miss you. Mrs. Carson, and thank you for everything that you do. I miss you. Thank you.
Thomason, I miss you a lot. I can't wait to see you. Bye.
Hi, Miss Alderman. I appreciate you because you work so hard for our class to take care of us, and I miss you.
Say hi, Miss Thomason, for being my teacher!
Hey, South Medford teachers. I just want to say thank you from me to you for in these last 3 years. You guys have taught me so much and really helped me make the person that I am today, and you guys have been so gracious and lenient and just all around good teachers, and you're dedicated to your students. So if you've had me as a student, I just want to say personally thank you so much, and for always taking the time to teach me and explain things and answer my millions of questions. And also, even now in quarantine, you guys are still dedicated to your students and you're still working hard to teach us, and I just want to say thank you, and I hope you guys are doing good.
I'm thankful for Miss Blessy at Roosevelt School. She's the best.
Hi, Mr. Barbie, thank you. I'd like to say hi to all my 6th grade teachers, Mr. Franklin, Miss Banky, and Miss Cabot.
Thank you, Mrs. Stratton.
Thanks, Miss Murphy at Hoover Elementary. We miss you.
Hey, Miss Dode. I love being in your class. I miss you. Go Beavers.
Hey, I just wanted to give a shout out to Miss Mia's class at Jacksonville Elementary. And a hi to all of the students, staff, and teachers. I miss you. Bye.
Hello, I am Malachi. I go to Lone Pine School. My teacher is Mrs. Mock, and I want to thank her so much for helping me out on math problems, reading problems, my writing, and all of my school stuff. Even though we're farther away and we can't talk to each other more, she's still been helping me out a lot. Well, thank you, Miss Mock. Bye.
I love you, Mrs. Fieldtime, so much because you're so kind and nice.
Thank you, Miss Quill and Mr. Weinberg, for teaching me in the short year that we have.
Hi, Mr. Vasquez.
Schmidt, I really miss you. I hope you have a good day with your girls today. I hope that we can go to school together soon.
Hi, Mrs. Joy. Thank you for all the hard work that you've done to keep us going on a school walk. You're a really good teacher. I miss you.
Hi, this is Bennett. I love you. I'm so glad you're my teacher this year. And I hope you're doing good. Bye.
One of my best days as a parent.
One of my best days as a parent. One of my best days as a parent. As a parent.
One of the best days is when my kids came home and say, "Mom, I love school."
She immediately comes home and she starts talking to me about, we get to go to lunch every day. So I was like, you do that at home, but for her it was amazing.
When my son was in kindergarten and he came home from school early in the year with Bob books, and he sat down in my lap at night before bed and read for the first time to me, and I got teary-eyed. I'll never forget it.
One of my best days as a parent is when my son came home from school and said he wanted to run to be the class president for this school.
And my daughter brought home this piece of artwork that says, "Friends help each other when they're scared." It's a friend telling her other friend, "It's okay, be brave."
One of my best days as a parent was the day that my son came home and said that he was chosen for a Student Leader Award. It was a really good feeling, actually, you know. Like a one-of-a-kind feeling, for sure.
Uno de los grandes momentos también de este programa.
One of the biggest moments when I came home was that I came home and I told her that through Bulldog Straighters I had spoken to the governor of Oregon, and she was really proud of me because at a young age I had this really big opportunity, and it was just so motivating to me like it was to her as well.
Favorite thing was to hear another friend of mine that's a teacher. She asked him, so how do you like middle school? Do you like it? And he said, I love it. And I was like, what? Yes. You know, to love something, you know, school, then that makes it more fun to go to, and he'll put more energy into it.
I got phone calls from the school and emails from different newspaper people saying that my son had created something. Yeah, I basically just said I created a little piece off this machine that creates, you know, 3D imaging things. He used other words, but I'm a mom, and I just was just so excited that I was like, I don't know what words you're using, but cool, I'm so proud of you.
My daughter, Tiana Crick, she's going into her senior year at South Medford High School, and she was born with Down syndrome. And so one of my best days as a parent with Tiana is when she came home after her first game with the unified team. She played soccer in the fall. And she came home just really excited. She felt like she really was playing for South Medford High School, and that made her really happy and really proud.
One of my best days as a parent is when my son won state and was able to travel to Kentucky to participate in Skills USA Nationals 2017 in mobile electronic robotics. You know, I get choked up when I think about my kids, both of them, but you know, it's exciting to see that they're excelling. And I know now, and I've got to say that the programs that he's been involved in through CTE are huge and instrumental in his future.
This is the whole soccer team, so we have the JV and the varsity and the JV team.
Yeah, and Steven participated on, oh, I see him.
Yeah, he's right there.
This is a pretty special poster for us. It's been a really long journey for Steven, and this proves to me that people really care. Steven didn't have to come home and tell me, Mom, I made it. This is what people calling me and saying, we want people to know your story, and printing it, and him making the team is all I needed. I didn't need words.
I'm Patrick Royal's dad, and Patrick grew up, when he grew up, I was in the military. So Patrick was in 10 schools before he enrolled here at South Medford. When he came to enroll in classes his senior year, his counselor knew what he wanted and encouraged him to enroll in the Champs Leadership Program. He did that, and he was thrilled. That was a game changer for him, really.
And then also Jefferson really reaches out to Alejandro he's waiting for a kidney transplant, and his school is so involved, really feels like we're at home.
My son is the third generation to go to Oak Grove. The teachers are great. They really are. When the teachers have a strong support staff, it's going to trickle down definitely to the kids.
We're excited to see our children get molded by such great staff. And you know, we can do what we can at school or at home as parents, but when we send them to school with you guys, that you continue molding them into being good citizens and students, and pretty soon he'll be an adult.
Steven has a place, and now I feel like I can just kind of relax and know that everything's going to be okay.
Believe me, sometimes you cannot say enough words to say thank you, because they put more time than what you think.
Not only the teachers, the counselors, the registrar, the people that get the kids enrolled and get them moving. Obviously, it goes all the way up through the administration to the principal and to the superintendent. Thank you all.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart as a parent that you're raising such wonderful children, because it makes a huge difference in their lives and in our lives. And I hope that you have a successful year, and I hope that you find kindness in every one of your days too.
I want to give a big, big, big thank you to the school staff.
And know that what you do and the positive things you do goes a long way. I really do. I think it does.